So this growth hack is called acceptance. There's a quote I really like by a guy called Jay Shetty, and it basically goes, "I will die imperfect, trying to do better." So what he means by this is essentially nobody's perfect, and this is something that I always teach, I always coach, because I think it's an important point that we get across to people. We are all human, we all make mistakes, we all have challenges, and we all do things sometimes that we do regret. So it's important that we understand this, and when I say acceptance, it's just simply about accepting that you've done things in the past and they've gone, and accepting who you are. So it's a really important element, and it's vital for our well-being. The first part is simply about recognizing your good traits. Now, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. They find it hard to write about what's good about them or the strengths, but it's an element to positive psychology, and we want to practice it. We want to get good at it, because we've all got strengths, we've all got qualities. So as much as we've all made mistakes, we've all had challenges, there's also lots of things that we've all done very well, and it's very important. Now, there's something called negativity bias, and what this means is, as humans, we tend to naturally look towards the negative first. We're all guilty of this. Often during a day, we'll tend to focus on the bad first rather than look at the good, and it's the same thing when we're thinking about ourselves. We'll tend to focus on what's wrong with us or the negative aspects about us rather than focusing on the good. So this is about changing that. So the first part is simply look at and consider the good strengths and the qualities that you've got, and use that template there to help you. So just tick what's relevant to you. And then the second part is just think of some examples of where you've used that in your life. So there will be many examples where you've demonstrated your strengths and you've shown your good qualities. Reflect on that. It's important. Remember the good within you as well. Like, look towards your strengths and take some time to reflect on that. So that's the first part. The next part is about acceptance. So again, going back to what I said at the start, some things have gone, we can't change them, and as humans, again, it's something we've all been guilty of. Something that I've done is we carry things, we keep hold of things, and it's often the stories that we tell ourselves. And the metaphor I've seen this referred to before was like carrying a heavy bag. So there's things that we've done in the past that we can't change, but yet we carry these stories with us like a heavy rucksack, and then it just gets heavier and heavier, and the more we go through life, it gets heavier and it weighs down on us. And like I say, it's hard as it can be, but sometimes we've got to rid ourselves of those stories and just accept these things have happened, and there's nothing we can do about it. We've just got to move forward. So the final part is journal about what a friend would say to you. So when you've made mistakes or you've had challenges in the past, what would a friend say to you? Because we all know that the way we speak to ourselves sometimes isn't the way we would speak to a friend, and I'm guilty of this. It's that negative self-talk. If we've made a mistake, we might berate ourselves, we might really give ourselves a hard time, and we're our worst critics. We are really hard on ourselves at times. But the reason that this question is saying, what would a friend say in this situation, is because you know, like I know, that if a friend was sat in front of me and they perhaps made a mistake that I'd made in the past, I'd speak to them completely differently. I would give them advice, I'd give them support. But when it comes to ourselves, we don't always do that. So really reflect on that question, and what would you say to a friend on anything that you've done in the past, any challenges that you've had, and then think about it going forward as well. So the next time you do something, whether you make a mistake or whatever it might be, think about what a friend would say, because I guarantee it, if you were speaking to a friend, you'd speak a little bit nicer to them. So that's the whole purpose of this growth hack. It's literally about accepting things that have been and have gone, recognizing the good qualities, and then just thinking about how we can be a bit kinder to ourselves and how we would speak to a friend given these situations.